Hey, what we're going to do right now is go over the neuron model, which I happen to have right in front of me. It's big. It's kind of falling apart. So hopefully it won't. Got the neuron model here. I'm taking the axon off for a second here. This is the axon. I'm going to put it down over there. And I'm holding in my body, I'm holding in my hand the cell body. It's the major part right here, also known as the soma, cell body or soma. If you had more than one soma, you'd say somata. Coming out of the cell body, we have all these dendrites. Same color as the cell body. Check that out. Also coming out of the cell body, we've got the beginning of the axon, and this beginning part is the axon hillock. So let's talk about the cell body for a second. The cell body receives signals, and we can figure that out here just by noticing that there are all of these telodendria. These are telodendria from other axons. We got axon terminals from other axons, other neurons, and they're synapsing on the cell body. So the cell body is going to be a receptive part of the neuron. It's going to get information. It also integrates that information. I mean, it sums graded potentials, which is an important part. It processes that information. Okay, if we open up the cell body, we look inside, we see the usual intracellular stuff. We've got a nucleus here, a little nucleolus in there. We have the rough endoplasmic reticulum, the gray with the red little studs on it. And that is also known as the Nissl body or Nissl substance. All right, so that's pretty much it for the cell body, for the soma. I mentioned we had dendrites. The word dendro means tree, so this is reflective of the amount of branching that takes place. The more branching that takes place means the more other neurons that can synapse on this guy. If more neurons synapse, that means there's going to be more information. More information means you're going to be more smarter. So more dendrites makes you more smarter. All right, what else do we have? We got the dendrites, we got the cell body, we got these other telodendria. We also have the axon. Here's the axon right here. This is the axon terminal, the part where it starts out. It's kind of wide when it starts out, and it's going to narrow and kind of taper. And that part where it narrows and tapers, that beginning is the axon hillock. This is where action potentials are going to be initiated. Remember that electrically, in terms of the electrical signals, dendrites, cell body, they're going to have graded potentials, but the axon has action potentials. All right, so we got our axon hillock, we got our axon. The cell membrane of the axon is called the Exo Lemma. Lemma means husk or covering, so the covering of the axon is the Exo Lemma. All right, so I'm going to put this part down and pick up the rest of it. Here it is. So now what we've got here, let me turn it like this, we got the axon, but we're seeing that it's covered in these Schwann cells. This is one Schwann cell right here. You can call it a Schwann cell or a neurolemmocyte, whichever you want. Both are good. The collective covering of the Schwann cells creates what's called the myelin sheath. You can see how the plasma membrane has just wrapped around that axon so many times. What that does is it protects, it insulates the axon, and it allows for the action potential to travel faster. It allows for saltatory conduction. Now, in between the two Schwann cells, in between these two Schwann cells, there is a tiny microscopic gap right here. This is called a node of Ranvier. So that gap between Schwann cells is a node of Ranvier. We can see the nucleus of the Schwann cell right here. The outer part of the Schwann cell, the part that I'm hitting right there, is called the neurolemma. All right, what else can we see? If we slide it down, we see a connective tissue wrapping around the Schwann cell itself. And this connective tissue wrapping is called the endoneurium. And it's going to let this axon be protected and also stabilize it by allowing it to be anchored to other axons as we bundle them together to form a nerve. And that is pretty much it for the neuron model. See you later.